We're going to look at two examples from the homework really quick. We're going to look at question number 27 and question 28, and these both have to do with solving using the quadratic formula. Now, again, remember, anytime we solve with the quadratic formula, make sure it is in standard form. This one already is in standard form because we have all of our terms on one side set equal to 0 over here. Now, the tricky thing about this one is there isn't a value that just has, or a term that just has p to the first power, which means our b value is actually 0. A is the one that goes with p squared, so a is 2. There isn't that middle term, so b equals 0. And the last one, the constant, that doesn't have a variable with it, is negative 72. So a equals 2, b equals 0, c equals negative 72. From here, you plug that into the quadratic formula, just putting each number in its place for the formula. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c. And, all of that over 2 times a. So again, we literally just replaced a is 2, so that's here and here. B is 0, here and here. C is negative 72, right here. When we simplify this out, negative 0 is just 0. Negative 0 and positive 0 are the same thing. So you can just call it 0. 0 squared is also just 0. 4 times 2 times negative 72 is negative 576. But because we're minusing a negative value, it actually becomes adding. So 0 plus 576. And 2 times 2 down here simplifies to just 4. Simplifying it some more. We don't really need to say 0 plus or minus something. We just need to know that we have the positive or negative value of 0 plus 576 is 576. So positive or negative square root of 576, all of that divided by 4. Simplifying some more. Well, the square root of 576 is 24, so we have positive or negative 24 divided by 4. And 24 over 4 is the same as 6, so we have positive or negative 6 are our answers. And again, you can split it up into two answers like this, so x is 6 or negative 6 if you want, or you can circle it as this is your answer. Again, how we know this is real or for sure, if we do positive 24 divided by 4, that's positive 6. Negative 24 divided by 4 is negative 6. That's what this positive and negative, or you can think of it as like a plus or minus. Pretend we still had that 0 in front here. 0 plus 24 is positive 24 divided by 4, positive 6. 0 minus 24 is negative 24 divided by 4 is negative 6. So positive and negative 6 are our answers. Let's look at 28. Again, make sure every single time you do quadratic formula that is in standard form. This one already is. A equals 4, b equals negative 1. Remember, there's kind of a hidden 1 in front of this m, negative 1. And then c is this positive 5. So we just plug all of that into our quadratic formula. Negative, negative 1, plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared. When you type this into your calculator, make sure you have the parentheses around this negative 1. If you type it into your calculator like this, your calculator will read exponents first, then do the negative. So 1 squared, and then the negative version of that, it would call just this piece right here negative 1. If you type it incorrectly with the parentheses around it, now it thinks to do take negative 1 and square it. So negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. That's what we want it to be. So make sure this is in parentheses, then minus 4 times a times c, or 4 times 4 times 5. All of this is divided by 2 times 4. Simplifying some pieces out, negative negative 1 just is positive 1, plus or minus negative 1 squared is 1. 4 times 4 times 5 is 80, so 1 minus 80 is underneath the square root, and 2 times 4 becomes 8. Simplifying it down a little more, 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 79, because 1 minus 80 becomes negative 79. And we can split square root of negative 79 into 1 plus or minus the square root of 79i Remember, I is not underneath the square root, but it's next to it, so it's saying the square root of 79 times I, all of that over 8. Because we don't know exactly what the square root of 79 is, we can leave it like this, and you circle this as your final answer. This is as simplified as you can get this answer. So 1 plus or minus the square root of 79 times I, all over 8. And that would be using the quadratic formula to solve these functions.